Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on a brand new episode of Sadie and Sean Have No Friends. No?
What's happening?
I don't know what's happening. Is it working?
Mm-hmm.
Then why did you tell me to stop?
I didn't. I was clapping.
That wasn't a clap, Sean. That was you saying stop talking.
No, I was going like this.
Okay, well, watch the video on our YouTube channel and judge for yourself, because I'm like, what do you want to say?
Remember when that kid
in
in one of those Eddie Murphy movies was like, Hercules, Hercules, and he was clapping? That's kind of what it was like. Hercules, 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 Hercules.
Okay, well, we'll let the people judge, because I think people would agree that it looked like you were saying cut it off, and I'm like, oh, shoot. Thank you to our wonderful sponsors, which is one of them is Garage Door Service and Sales. They have the most beautiful, like, talk about changing the look of your home. All you have to do is put a new garage door on. When we did it, people were like, and we tell people still, we're the ones with the garage door that's different. And that's because everybody has the boring garage door that comes with the house. You could really change up your home. Garage Door Service and Sales. Go see our friend Patrice. Yeah, Sean? Yeah.
I have a friend of a friend who had something of mine this weekend, and so I had to go get this item from these people I don't know, but they had the item that I needed, and so I put it in my GPS and I went, and there was this neighborhood, and it was clearly a pretty ritzy neighborhood, and they all had these fancy garage doors. They all looked like they were like wooden, like just really cool, like they look good. And our hot tub shit out recently, and so I've been trying to convince Shannon to get a hot tub. We went to this hot tub thing this weekend too, and we found out that like the hot tub we liked, they don't tell you any prices, and then they like talk you into it and everything's ready to go, and then they
they're
drop
like,
the price on you.
bam.
Yeah,
How much does a hot tub?
The one we liked was $21,000. I was in there thinking we were going to spend like between $3,000 and $5,000. $21,000. So anyways, the moral of this story is I was like, dude, you know what? Like we just won't have a hot tub because I want one of those fancy wooden garage doors. But
is that what you're gonna get?
No,
Instead of a hot tub?
I'm not going to spend $21,000 period, but I'm starting to prioritize things in my life, and the fancy wooden garage door would certainly come before the hot tub. I'm not going to get either. I'm not going to do anything.
Well, okay, listen, talk to our friend. And when you do call Patrice, if you do, which we hope you do, family-owned and operated business, tell them that you heard about it on the podcast and that you're interested. Even if you're not interested.
I heard about it on my own podcast.
Sean, you're Yes, anyway, that's it. So, yes, I have something to talk about. And yes, I think you need to watch this. And also today, we can't forget that it's Tuesday, which means we've got to help people with if you're asking us, which I have a topic for that. But I want to start today by talking about a show that is on HBO Max. Do you have HBO Max?
Oh, yes, okay. I do. I have everything.
Okay, so on HBO Max.
I have them all because I have that underground TV service, which by the way, two different people. I'd hate to stop you because you seem really excited about this, but two different people from this podcast have bought my like shady ass mafia, probably illegal TV service because of the podcast. Most recently, my buddy Randy, who hit me up the other day, and he's like, "I'm in, I got it." And I was like, "All right,
really?
Well, we're all going down together."
Sucker. I don't know. Maybe I'm the sucker, and I need to
feel
jump
like
on board.
The mafia probably should be sponsoring this podcast since I'm slinging their TV service by accident. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so if you go to your free TV cable and go to HBO Max, there is a show that a friend told me about, and it's called Naked Ambition. Have you ever heard of this, Sean?
I've heard of Naked and Afraid.
Okay. Naked Ambition is a brand new dating show. I actually just watched episode 1 right before we came on. And what it is it's like they say it's reverse dating, where they have 5 different cubes with doors that go up. And what they do is they will put, like, the episode that I just watched is a woman and she's looking for someone to date, but they're basing it on their wiener. And so they put 5 different boxes in front of this woman, and you can see that there's a man inside the box, but you can't actually see. And they just slowly go up and they show it. And it's fascinating because then, and this is like overseas, this isn't here. But then they go through and they're like, I don't like that one. It's a little crooked. Or, and then they have to eliminate someone. So then they're down to 4. And then they go up and and then they make them turn around. And then they're judged on their butt. Like what of these 5 dudes that are left, which butt looks the best naked? And then they pick that. And then they do the
everything.
chest.
Like
you
if you see it all.
Everything. You see, they're completely naked.
Yeah,
and
I know,
so,
but on TV, a lot of times they blur it out for the folks at home.
No, this is HBO Max, Sean. I mean, like, this was the original where you'd see like boobies.
Yeah, but
on
they didn't
HBO?
show wieners. Yeah, boobies. They didn't show wieners.
Well, so I let it run. It's still playing on the TV in where we record this, and now it's a woman, and she's picking between men and women. So it's like, it's so weird. But if you look at it, like I'm watching it right now, and yes, they're completely nude, but everybody looks so different. I don't know. I guess when you don't see a lot, you're kind of like, you just imagine everybody kind of looks the same. There's a lot of differences when you see somebody naked. And then at the end, they show them what they look like wearing clothes. And you're like, holy cow, I would have never guessed that guy has a crooked wiener. It's called Naked Ambition, HBO Max.
Is their wiener first of all, let me start by saying that I think that this is really jacked up, and it's one of the problems with our society. And I'm going to sound like a prude, and it doesn't matter, but I think that it's shitty. I think it's a shitty thing to do. But also, is their wiener hard or is it not when they see it?
I'm glad you asked, Sean. Well, that was my question, because
you don't know if a wiener's crooked
for a
unless
guy,
it's hard.
Yeah, a guy can't hide that, and you would have to be. They would have to be a little nervous, like, okay, take your clothes off and get in this box, and we're literally going to judge you. And the last thing that they see is their face. So it's like reverse, where you see their wiener, and then you see their face at the end. And it's so trippy. This show is so trippy. Again, you can tell
you
that
didn't
it's
answer my question. You just went right around.
Are they hard, Sean?
Yes. Are they or not?
Well, some look like they might be. Oh, some are so ugly.
If you don't know, I feel like that's the dude getting eliminated for sure. Like, I can't tell if that thing's erect or not. Then that guy's out.
Wait a second. But sometimes, see, I'm so sorry if this is disturbing to talk about, but I cannot even believe that there is a show. And I don't know if they're erect. I guess they're not, but most of them, I will tell you, are absolutely not erect. You can tell. You could just tell. A lot of them are anteaters. They're not circumcised, which I find interesting. Are you circumcised, Sean?
I mean, I'll answer that question by saying I don't know that I've ever seen an uncircumcised wiener. And so it would look like an alien thing to me. And I don't want to. I don't go around looking at other dudes' dicks. And so therefore I haven't seen a whole lot. I'm not very experienced in that. I've been very honest on this podcast, and I told you that I'm not a porn watcher. It's not my thing. I don't like it. And so I don't ever see any wieners except for mine and Boone's.
Right. Which they're probably going to, be the exact same because that's your child. But what I'm saying is, if you watch this show, it's shocking how different they all look. They look the same, yet they look insanely different. And I think that's what's fascinating. I also think it's fascinating that in other countries, like, nudity is not even a big deal. They just walk around naked all the time.
I think it used to be that way. I believe in most like civilized countries, nudity's a big deal now. Like we've Americanized the world. And so places like France, where you used to just walk around and you used to see wieners all the time, it ain't like that no more.
Was that your France experience?
No, I've never been to France, but I know that that's how it was at one point.
I love that
when
that's
not how it is now.
When Sean pictures France, he just imagines dudes going around with their wieners out. No,
It's
but
like
it's
the locker,
interesting.
you know the place where nudity is not frowned
The
upon, and we
gym.
have talked about this before, but yes, that's exactly it. And I quit going to the gym a long time ago because I feel like you can save money by just doing it at home. And so I haven't been to a real gym in years and years and years. But when I used to go, I did see a lot more wieners because it's just a free the gym
It's
locker
Wienertown,
room.
USA.
Yeah, the
I
gym
mean,
locker room is like no holds bar.
and it's almost like for women, it's I feel like older women who get naked after they work out, like they do water aerobics, but they will dry their hair and just let their boobies sag and it's fascinating to me like wow, that's some confidence. And also when they're an older generation like 60s, 70s, I think weren't you more repressed? Like didn't you learn like, and now it's like I'm gonna walk around the gym naked and put my knee up and put
I
lotion
think that
on and
yeah, but I
so
think that they're in your mind once you get to that age, it's just like your body has become instead of like when you're younger and you've got all the hormones running through your body and all you think about is sex. I think at that point, like that's not any your body's just a vessel to carry you around at that point, and you don't look at it the same way.
do you
It's
think
not an
that's sad though? Do
object
you
of
think
sex anymore. It's just a body. It is kind of sad, but at the same point, like, I think that it's kind of a freeing feeling probably.
to just not even care what people think?
Don't give a shit. Don't give two shits. I remember a time where, like, I would get nervous if I had to piss next to somebody because this is something girls don't experience. But if you
Oh,
go to many bathrooms, and especially like 5, 10, 15 years ago, many bathrooms for dudes, it's just urinals
it
along
was
the
like
wall, and
one right after not.
there's no divider walls. As a matter of fact, there was quite a few bathrooms that I remember growing up where they used to have it looked like a bathtub to me. It wasn't a urinal, it was just this big thing. There was one of my favorite restaurants that had it. It's just this big tub thing, and everybody just pisses in it. And it's one big toilet, and you're right next to the dude pissing next to you. And at a young, like teenage years, you're more conscious of your body. And again, it's everything's about sex. And so you're worried that the dude next to you is going to peek at your wiener and he's going to either think that it's crooked or little or something, and so it couldn't pee. But now, like as I've gotten older, I don't care. Take a look at that thing if you would like to see it. If it really makes your day to look at it while I'm pissing, then go ahead.
And then
And so
is
I'm
it like
getting
a
there.
weird unspoken dude rule that you just look straight forward? I mean, like, what if are you trained at a young age to just not even look sideways at all when you go to the bathroom
I
in
don't know
that
if you're
situation?
I guess you probably are. Like I remember not too long ago, Boone was learning to piss in the urinal and he's looking all over the place as he's peeing. I was like, hey, dude, focus on what you're doing. Look at yourself. Let's not pay
Don't be
attention to
that
that guy.
kid.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, your dad teaches you that you do look ahead. And it's kind of also the opposite in dude bathroom law that
Etiquette?
you don't talk to the dude pissing next to you. Not everybody got that, so
Yeah,
sometimes you
I
get
was
a
gonna
dude that
say,
sometimes you get one that's next to you and he's like, "Hey, what you have for lunch today?" And I'm like, "Dude, aren't we supposed to not talk right now? Can I please finish what I'm doing? Maybe we can have a conversation while we're washing our hands. But while I'm peeing, just let me pee."
Sean, I love your stories. And yes, that's not just a dude thing. Chicks will I know some girls who go to the bathroom and then they want to talk to you the whole time and they're like the other day and you think I just really just kind of want to I don't know, I get uncomfortable. Where we
I thought that
used to
was chick
work
etiquette though.
together.
I
No,
thought the chicks
no.
were supposed to talk to each other. Like that's where you made best friends was in the bathroom.
Well, but it's in front of the mirror, when you see her
Oh,
crying and you're like, "Darling, what are you crying about? You're so pretty," because you've had like 18 dirty Shirleys. And then they're like, "Ew." And that's why we like to talk, but not in the process of going. It's not my thing.
yeah, that makes sense. What were you going to say about where we used to work? Something about the bathroom there?
We used to work at a place where the woman's bathroom was right across from someone's office. And I have this like serious fear. Well, I used to, I don't anymore because I'm at home, but I'm like, I think I pee really loud like a Clydesdale horse. And so I would always be so embarrassed when I have to go to the bathroom and that person was in their office. Isn't that dumb?
Who
Now
was in
I'm
that
free to
office?
go whenever. Our mutual friend who we talked about before, Garner.
Oh, yeah,
And he's
Garner.
like a Zen silent guy. So, you know, he didn't have music playing or he was just probably hearing this Niagara Falls. And then I
Yeah,
walk
that's
out and he's like, ugh.
speaking of Garner, just because he's like a character on this show now, as we've talked about him so many
He
times.
doesn't want to be
He
though.
I know he doesn't want to be, but he doesn't get a choice. He is like the most quiet, introverted dude you've ever met. As a matter of fact, he avoided me at we're like friends, and he avoids me at
So
concerts because he doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't want to talk to anybody, and you have to not get your feelings hurt. But anyway, he randomly sometimes will do weird shit that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up with who he is. And so last week I was just sitting there doing my job, and all of a sudden my phone dings. It's a text message from Garner, and all it said was, "Sean, I just want you to remember that I would have your babies." Like, oh,
that's nice. He was
thank
thinking
you.
of you.
I appreciate that.
He's actually a and what's weird is he's kind of a solid person to go to for advice because he's a good advice giver and he's very zen. But yeah, sometimes he says really weird shit or he'll send really weird shit where you're like, "Oh, okay. That's okay."
I still remember there was a kid that wanted a job, and he kept asking me for a job at the radio station, and Garner was running the radio station. And so I finally convinced Garner to give this kid an interview. And he told the kid, not me, but he told the kid, "Hey, when you come in for this interview, I want two things, two little like cups, the portable cups of tapioca pudding. I want you to bring those to the interview." And so this kid, idiot, goes to the
Did he do
store.
it? I would have done
He
it. Don't
bought
call him an idiot.
No, the kid buys a 6-pack, or like that pack that at the
Oh, a
store
snack
of
pack?
a snack pack, yes, 4 of
Okay.
them, of chocolate pudding. And he's like, "It's all the store had, but I wanted to bring you some pudding." Garner
Oh
said,
no.
"I said 2 things of tapioca pudding," didn't give him the job.
That's such a good way to take, because here's the deal. I would have gone to another store. I would have gone from store to store until I found the pudding that I was asked to bring. And that's such kind of a cool way to like test somebody. And clearly that dude didn't listen because, yeah, 2 things. You had 2 things to do and you didn't do it. That's
Yeah, that is
brilliant.
kind
But
of a sign that of laziness. Like, I'm gonna half-ass it. That if I ask you to
this is
go
all they
wash
had.
if I tell you to go wash the station pickup truck, you're probably gonna take it to one of the shitty car washes and not get it done fully. Like, you'll try, but you're not gonna do it all the
But
way.
you'll come back and be like, the vacuum was
Yeah,
broke,
right,
you know?
exactly. You're that type of guy. So I get it. I think that it's a good thing. But I'll always remember that story, and I always talk about tapioca
When
pudding
did
to
that
Garner as a result.
happen?
He wasn't our boss for very long, so in that short period of time that he was.
And I have to say that he was a very good boss when we did have him. There's some shitty bosses that we've had together, and he was definitely not on that list. So,
Let me
but
tell
I
you
don't,
though, too, along this story, because this just
yeah.
came to mind. This kid who he's not even a kid, he's older than me, but this kid who's the tapioca pudding guy, the one that brought the chocolate pudding, Garner doesn't give him the job. And maybe it's because he could read his character. So this guy gets a job at another radio station. I won't name names of the guy or the radio station, but he gets a job at another radio station. And I find out like a year after this whole thing happened that he got an endorsement, a sponsorship from a like a at-home massage place, and
I know who this
yeah,
is.
they'll come give you a massage in your house. It's a really good idea, but he got a girl to come give him a massage in his house, and he asked her straight up if she would give him a happy ending. And this is a radio station thing. So, of course, she goes back to her boss and she's like, "Hey, this creepo over here, I was rubbing his back and he asked me if I would rub something else." And he gets
Yep.
fired from that radio station. So the whole tapioca pudding thing was a savior, because we would have ended up working with that creepo.
Oh my God. I didn't know that was tapioca pudding guy or
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
No way. I had heard the legend of the dude that had the endorsement deal and then asked to be, jerked off at the end. That's very shocking. Good to know. Same guy.
That seems like it's a great business idea, but in the world that we live in,
That
I'm sure there's a lot of
yeah.
you almost have to send dudes You have to send dudes. You cannot send a hot chick to a dude's house to rub on him because he's gonna get the wrong idea. And I hate to say
Yeah.
that, but there's too many dudes like that. And so that business idea, albeit like really smart, is actually really dumb because it's not going to work.
Well, that's why, hookers will have like a bodyguard that stands outside the door because dudes they'll be like, yeah, you're totally into this. But an at-home massage place, I think that's dangerous for women to go into that situation
Yeah.
because it's like putting a wild animal in a cage.
Dudes can't even have their houses cleaned by a woman because they'll sit there and they'll be like,
Because it's a
hey,
fantasy that they'll be like,
I'll give you an
do you
extra
want me to
$50 if you
polish?
do it without your boobs, with your boobs out.
Can you polish my knob? Like,
It's just, unfortunately that's how it goes.
Okay. Are you ready to help people with If You're
Yes.
Asking Us? It's a brand new segment and it's brought to you by our friends at Big Stuff Storage. You can call them at 970-310-8383. 8383. And if you have something that you need stored, whether it's a boat or an RV, which I know are hopping this time of year. This is also, and I haven't even told Sean, if I'm going to be honest, this is my parents' company and we had an opening and my mom is adorable. And she came in and she's like, I will pay you in Sean. And I was like, I can't take money from my mom. So I'm like, it's open. So, I'm going to throw that in there. But it was really cute. She was like, I'll give you a nickel stick. I
expect if I ever buy a boat or an RV, which is probably highly unlikely because I work in radio, that I get a free spot.
I love that. So anyway, if you hear me, that's my parents. And I was like, oh,
that's a no. You just grazed right over my whole little deal.
Oh, no, totally. They'll hook you up if you want. And you know what's so funny? Cross promote with Garage Door Service and Sales. They have electric doors on every one of their storage stalls and they're huge. And Garage Door Service did it. So you get your own like clicker. Okay, so let's jump right into this issue. And this was something that I, of course, found on Reddit. And I don't know if I guess we've already kind of gone off the rails when it comes to having this not be a good episode to sit with grandma with, you know what I'm saying, with the show. So I read this Reddit and Sean, I want to get a man's point of view on this because somebody wrote in, obviously they stayed anonymous because that's what you do on Reddit, but it says, I'm a 24-year-old female and I've been married to my husband for 7 years. We always had an amazing sex life until about 2 years ago. Now, I don't question my husband's love for me because when it comes to our relationship, we are incredibly close, but I am now hitting my sexual prime and I find that he only wants to himself. He doesn't want her. He just wants to take care of himself every day.
I'm assuming she's doing it wrong.
Okay. So let me finish what she says. She says, I brought it up to him and he just says he's tired. He's tired. It's been a long day at work. But she says, but I know what he does. He doesn't know what he does, that I know, but I know what he does. And
what's he do? Watch gay porn?
No, he like goes in the bathroom and squeezes, his wiener.
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe he might not be into chicks anymore. Maybe he likes the dudes.
See, now you're this person will be in a spiral anyway, but she says, what do I do? He says it isn't me, but we maybe have sex one day out of the week if I'm lucky. She says, I don't know what to do. I know that the passion is there, but he's just not interested in me. And so she says,
I have a whole list of things that could be causing this. I wonder if her hygiene's bad.
Yeah, but don't you think 7 years into marriage, you could be comfortable enough to be like, babe, like wet wipes or something like that? Like, I would hope so, that you would have an open enough relationship where you could say something like that. So I feel like we shouldn't say it's probably not a hygiene thing,
Okay,
right?
that's fair. You dispelled
So we're
that one.
taking that.
He I really keep going back in my mind to the whole dude thing. Like maybe he loves you. I feel like I'm a very straight man, so I can't necessarily comprehend
Put
how it would
yourself in,
work.
okay.
I can't, yeah, I
Okay.
can't, it doesn't work in my brain, but I feel like you could probably love a person. I love you. I've been with you for 7 years, but that just doesn't tickle my fancy anymore. Only wieners tickle my fancy, and you don't have a wiener.
Yeah, but how do you explain majority of their marriage, they've had a healthy and bountiful sex life, and then
Yeah,
one
well,
day
I've
it
seen this
switches
before.
off.
Yeah, I
You've
don't know what
seen it?
happens. It's like the little gay fairy man that like Cupid. Think of Cupid, except for a little gay fairy that like hits you with his wand and
With
turns
a
you into a,
martini?
yeah,
It
maybe
makes
it's
you
my, yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, he makes you start like talking with a lisp and wearing makeup and wanting to have a wiener in your butt.
You know what? You have such a view of it's just like a cartoon. Um, I don't know. As a woman, I'm like, I don't know what I would feel like if this were me. I mean, if she's tried to bring it up to him and say, hey, this hurts me that you would rather be alone during the lovemaking process, and he makes excuses, can you save that situation? And then you have to ask, she's young. She's young.
Yeah, I wonder if
Can't
she's
be
like a
how old she
gold
is. Wait a
digger.
second. She
24, you
says she's
said.
24. What
So
did they
maybe,
meet in high school? Go ahead.
well, maybe this is a gold digger situation. Maybe she's 24 and he's 75 and his ding dong just doesn't work very good anymore. And she thinks
Okay,
he's squeezing one off in the bathroom, but really he just doesn't get hard on anymore.
he just sits on the toilet and weeps. Yeah. See, there are so many things that could be going wrong in this situation, but I don't know. But you're saying as a guy, you don't think you'd ever wake up and there are surely times, Sean, where you're like, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I feel like, but if he's going in the bathroom and doing it, I don't know how to
Yeah,
justify this.
that's the part that gets me. Like, yeah, I'm sure that everybody gets tired. Everybody gets a headache. Sometimes everybody has a tummy ache and they just can't do it. And I get that, but yeah, the whole doing it yourself thing is weird. Maybe I wonder if this dude has just like the hands of God or
Of
something.
an
Maybe it
angel.
just feels better. Yeah, maybe like whatever he does with his hands is better than anything she can do.
I just
But
feel like
hey,
you gotta have
we're
an open.
solution based here. We need to come up with a solution for this
Well,
woman.
I was just gonna say, I think they need to have an open dialogue, and he needs to stop pretending like there isn't an issue. And here's how you do it: you walk in on him. You stop pretending that you don't know what he's doing, and you say, and you hit him between the eyes, and you say, "Okay, what is it?" Because is clearly it's me because you have bullets in the gun. It's me, clearly. What am I doing wrong? How can I fix it? Can it be fixed? Is it something where, you
Let me
know,
give kudos to this guy though too, because like at least he's not going out and pounding another woman.
yeah, well,
I
she
think
was
that
wondering
you would
that
agree.
too.
Yeah, I think you would agree though that you would be more like if you're not going to do it with me, I would rather you do it with yourself than with another woman.
True. That's incredibly true. That's true. But I feel like this would be very hurtful. So Sean, I feel like you're the only one that can actually kind of give the advice on this one today. What should she do? I say she should walk in on it and be like, "All
Yeah.
right, let's begin this conversation." And then also
Yeah.
see what he's watching. If he's watching something during it, you got to check that out, you know.
I think that's the golden ticket. I really do. I think that goes back to what I was saying about him possibly being gay, or maybe she's a dead fish when they do it and it just doesn't do anything for him because she's not entertaining and he's watching something
Would
that's
you
like
feel comfortable
crazy.
enough to tell your partner what you're doing is horrible? So much so I'm going to just do it myself because you can't do it right.
That would be a hard
Like
conversation to have, right? That would be a really hard
that
conversation
would
to have.
be
So
really
that could be
hard.
it. That probably is the most likely of all the scenarios we brought up, is that she's just not doing it for him anymore and he's afraid to bring it up. So it's a lot easier to do it himself than to bring up the, hey, like I just can't have for 7 years, you've just laid there and I can't do it anymore. And so
That'll go really well.
yeah, so he just does it himself instead. And so you're probably right. I think that that's a good idea. She needs to walk in and be like, just point blank, "Hey, what is wrong? Why are
Because
we not
you
doing it
just
anymore?
told
Why would you
me
rather?" Yeah.
that you were tired or your head hurt and now it's happening in our bathroom, and this guy sucks. Like, at least go to the basement or wait till she falls asleep for real. And how loud is he? Good lord, there's so many questions. I always put these up on our social media pages if you want to go and you put your 2 cents in, because Sean and I are pretty worthless, I guess, when it comes to giving advice. Thank you so much again, everybody, for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Sean Have No Friends. Click automatic download, Sean. That's really important. Not as important. No, that's the most important. Yeah, click that and be sure to subscribe to our channel. And we want to thank, before we leave, one of our show sponsors is Cristiana Salon Spa. This is a real one, not my parents. And we want to thank them for being show sponsors, because they're wonderful and they do everything. And my other niece is getting married, and guess what? I want to plan a nail party there, because you can have a spa. Sean's literally just giving thumbs up. You are worthless at these endorsements because you just give the thumbs up, and people are listening if they're not watching. So thank you to them. Go and mention the podcast and you're going to get 10% off. So that's it. And check out, if you have the grit, because it's a rough one to get through, check out Naked Ambition. You will be shocked at how different people look naked. That's it.
Not doing it.
He's out.